Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the invisible war that's happening on our networks right this very second. And more importantly, we're going to figure out exactly how to protect ourselves. We're focusing entirely on what cybersecurity actually is and breaking down how it all works behind the scenes. But before we get into all the technical defenses, I want you to picture this. Have you ever clicked on an email offering a special discount voucher? Imagine a super tempting digital gift card sitting right there in your inbox from one of your absolute favorite stores. We've all seen them, right? And maybe you've even been tempted to click. Well, this everyday scenario sets up a perfect, highly relatable cautionary tale for us to explore today. Okay, let's dive into this. We're covering 1. A costly online mistake. 2. What is cybersecurity? 3. Common individual cyber attacks. 4. Defending your digital life. 5. Corporate cybersecurity threats. And 6. The future of cyber defense. By the end of this explainer, we're going to completely solve the mystery of how to prevent these devastating digital attacks. Section 1. A costly online mistake. I want you to meet Anne. Anne is a frequent online shopper, and she buys stuff all the time from a site we'll just call shoppingcart.com. Just to make her life a bit easier and her checkouts faster, she kept her email, her address, and her credit card details saved right there on the website. Here's exactly how it went down. Step 1, Anne saves her data on the site. Step 2, out of nowhere, she gets an email saying she's snagged a special discount voucher from shoppingcart.com. Step 3, to actually get the coupon code, the email asks her to enter her account credentials. And honestly, it didn't seem fishy to her at all. She just thought it was a totally routine account verification step. But then step 4 hits. She was absolutely knocked off her feet when a huge chunk of money was wiped right out of her bank account. That email, it was completely fake. What seemed like an innocent login was actually a hacker gaining unauthorized access. Moving to Section 2. What is cybersecurity? Now, the big question staring us in the face right now is, could Anne have actually prevented this? And the answer is an absolute 100% yes. She could have totally avoided this disaster with the help of cybersecurity. So the crucial point is this. Cybersecurity involves the techniques we use to secure various digital components, networks, data, and computer systems from unauthorized access. And what's incredibly important to remember here is that cybersecurity isn't just a one-size-fits-all static shield. It's highly adaptable, it scales specifically to whatever network architecture you're connected to and the unique threats that particular network faces. Section 3, Common Individual Cyber Attacks. Now that we know what the overarching defense is, we need to transition rapidly from the defense back to the villains of our story. Let's explore the specific everyday threats that Anne, and honestly you and me, might face. First up is malware. This includes your Trojans, adware, and spyware. If Anne had downloaded a weird attachment, her system could have been infected by malicious viruses hiding inside. Second is phishing, which is exactly what Anne went through. Fraudulent emails practically begging you to hand over sensitive data like your login info. Then we have man-in-the-middle attacks. This is wild. A hacker secretly takes over your IP address, usually when you're on public, unsecured Wi-Fi, and they just sit there intercepting the communication between your device and the server. Finally, there are password attacks. This is honestly one of the easiest ways hackers break in, simply by testing common passwords or rapid-firing alphanumeric combinations until they crack the account. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what we're talking about. When you compare a legitimate retailer email side by side with a fraudulent phishing email, it's scary how similar they look. Hackers are meticulous. They disguise their malicious intent perfectly so you feel safe enough to hand over your sensitive data or accidentally install malware, exactly like Anne did. Section 4, Defending your digital life. Okay, time to shift gears and focus on empowerment. We've seen the threats, so now it's time to introduce the digital shields we can actively use to fight back against these attacks. The absolute primary shield you can deploy is a firewall. It's quite literally a virtual wall sitting between your computer and the internet. It actively filters all incoming and outgoing traffic to keep your device and network safe. And the great thing is, firewalls can be set up as software applications on your device or as actual physical hardware reinforcements. They are your ultimate first line of defense. Then we have honeypots, and I just love this concept. Honeypots are dummy computer systems used specifically to attract and deceive attackers. Literally just like flowers attract bees, it is such a clever visual metaphor. By making this dummy system look vulnerable, you actively distract the attackers. You trick them into attacking the fake target, which successfully defends your real vital systems in the background. Combine that with unique alphanumeric passwords and some solid antivirus software, and your defenses are going to be remarkably strong. Section 5, Corporate Cybersecurity Threats. Let's move to and see how this builds when we scale the narrative way up. We're going from individual stakes, like Anne's personal bank account, to the colossal public and private organizational stakes. The attacks hitting corporations are even more deadly, causing massive financial losses and huge data breaches. To really grasp the sheer scale of these corporate attacks, look at the Advanced Persistent Threat, or APT. This is where hackers sneak into a corporate network and basically set up camp for a prolonged period, just continuously siphoning out highly confidential information. Then there's the Denial of Service, or DOS attack. This is where they maliciously flood networks with junk traffic, so real, legitimate requests are left totally unattended. And if they use multiple systems at once to do it, that's a Distributed Denial of Service, or a DDoS attack. Finally, you've got SQL injections, where hackers manipulate standard database queries to actually view, edit, or even permanently delete entire tables of data. This brings us to Section 6, the future of cyber defense. With this incredible plethora of cyber attacks out there, ensuring complete security for massive organizations is an unbelievable challenge. It's simply not something software can handle entirely on its own anymore. It requires specialized humans to step up and secure the front line. And because the challenge is so massive, it has created some incredibly lucrative career paths. You've got the ethical hacker. This is someone who actually tries to hack a network exactly like a malicious hacker would, but they do it to identify vulnerabilities and patch them up. Basically, hacking to protect. If you're more into the building side, the security architect designs those robust security structures from the ground up. And at the very top executive level, you have the Chief Information Security Officer, or CISO, who is entrusted with the overall safety of an entire organization's data. Now, what's really interesting about this massive multiplier, 4x, is what it means for tomorrow. Because of the sheer rapid explosion of global digital data, it's highly anticipated that cyber attacks are going to quadruple in the near future. This invisible war is only accelerating, and organizations are going to desperately need smart cybersecurity professionals to actively prevent these expanding threats. Which leaves us with a critical question for you to ponder. With cyber attacks expected to quadruple, are you ready to become the defender of your digital world? Whether that means taking the time today to apply the individual practices we discussed to lock down your own identity, or maybe making the smart decision to pursue a lucrative career in the cybersecurity field, the knowledge is now in your hands. Thank you for joining me on this explainer. Stay secure out there, stay vigilant, and keep learning.